Hello, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and get started with this kickoff call for the Focus Trade Mission to Chile for food service and retail. My name is Grant Bemke. I'm a liaison with Food Export Northeast, based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you all for joining the preview call. Like I said, for the Focus Trade Mission for Chile and for retail and food service. We're joined on this call by Leonardo Silveria, who is our in-market representative in South America. Our activity coordinator for the event is Susan Weller, who I don't believe is on the call, but
I am.
oh, hi, Susan. Sorry,
Hi.
didn't see you. Susan is
Mhm.
on the call. This preview call is dedicated to the Focus Trade Mission to Chile, products of interest, general itinerary for the mission. Um, we'll also discuss costs to participate as well as registration. It'll last about 30 minutes. And then this recording, because this is being recorded, will be posted on the webpage for all the people who weren't able to make the meeting. Everyone is automatically muted, but we do encourage you to ask questions through the question and answer box, and we will discuss at the end. And also later on, you'll see a slide which will have the information for the liaison team, myself included, so you can reach out whenever you're ready to go. Okay, so for those of you who may or may not be familiar with us, we at Food Export are a nonprofit. We work with the 13 Midwest states, as long as the 10 Northeastern states, to promote agricultural businesses and help them export abroad. We work with in-market representatives from went a little too far. We work with in-market representatives from around the world that give us boots on the ground information, like you're about to receive from Leonardo, and really help enrich everything. I guess with that, I will pass things off to Leonardo to continue with the information on Chile.
All right. Thank you very much, Grant. So thank you, everybody, for being here, for your time, your interest in learning more about Chile. I'm Leonardo Silveira. I'm with River Global, which is Food Export's in-market rep in South America, covering especially Brazil, Chile, Colombia, and Peru. So, as this is about the trade mission to Chile, I would like to start giving you a brief overview about Chile. So, Chile is located on the southern part of South America. So, as you can see in the map, Chile has a population of around 20 million, but 1/3 of it lives in the Santiago metropolitan region. Santiago is the capital of Chile. Chile has a very interesting geography. As you can see, it's very wide from north to south. That Chile is mainly focused in agricultural products. Chile has a mining sector, a large mining sector. And in terms of food and beverage, wine is a major product that Chile exports, and also fresh fruit. In fact, if you look to the map of Chile, to the right, on the border with Argentina, there is the Andes Mountains from north to south. To the left, you have the Pacific. To the north, in the border with Peru, there is the Atacama Desert. And to the south, it's only ice in the Patagonian region. So Chile, it's kind of an island inside the continent, and which means that pests cannot get into Chile unless um, men take them through ports or airplanes and all. So um, there is something about Chile on controlling for pests, especially for visitors uh, arriving there by plane on the airport, just because it's impossible to come from other countries due to the geography of Chile. It's one of it is the most developed country in South America. And it has one of the highest per capita GDPs in Latin America. It fluctuates along with Uruguay, which is a much smaller country in terms of population, so only 1/5 of Chilean population. The GDP growth expected to this year, it's in between 2 and 3%. It was just revised now last month. It was previously from 1 to 2%. Now, this is something interesting. US, it's a very strong trading partner of Chile. Okay, and there is a free trade agreement with the US that is phased out already, which means that all products since 2016, they get into Chile duty free. In terms of agricultural in general, this is the third largest market in South America, coming from the US, but the second when we were talking about consumer-oriented and processed foods, which is mostly what we, the suppliers that participate in our events do. So mostly what you in the audience do. So Chile is the second market in South America for those products. Chile is composed of all sorts of stores when we talk about food retail. So for large supermarkets, some mid-sized stores, convenience stores all around, especially in Santiago, and the smaller independent mom and pop that are spread all around the country, especially out of Santiago. Chile is also the home of Cencosud, which is the largest group in revenue of food retail in South America, and they are present all around South America and now even in the USA. So Chile has a very established modern channel in South America for food and beverage. Processing industry is also very established. It's not enough to supply the demand for all products in Chile, so they rely on imports. And when we are talking about the food processing industry in in Chile, half of the products are imported. The US is very well seen in Peru. So people perceive it as high quality food products, as innovative, as trendy, and the consumers in the higher populate classes in Chile, they are likely to pay more to get US products. In fact, there is even a retail chain in Santiago metropolitan region exclusive for American products. So Chile welcomes USA products in their market. So this is something interesting and something you should take into consideration. Chilean regulation requires labeling of food and beverage. So Chile was the first country to start with what we call the stop signs. So the nutritional labeling regulations that has the high in sugar, high in sodium, high in fat, and in the case of Chile, high in calories on the front panel of the products. So that is in force since 2016. It was the first country in South America with that regulation. You may be more familiar with the one in Mexico, so it's pretty similar to the one in Mexico, but that started first in Chile. And I can say that nowadays, after that many years of that legislation into force, it's something that it does not worry that much anymore. So people are just used to those, and indulgence products go really well in Chile. Okay. Um, I think what it still impacts, it's products that are marketed as healthy and natural, and yet have to put the label on the front panel. Um, Now there's a new legislation since of last year, if I'm not wrong, but it's pretty recent, which is the alcoholic beverages legislation, which also has a front panel stop sign, just with three signs on all alcoholic beverages, just saying that that shouldn't be consumed for under 18 years old, that it can be, you should not drink and drive, and you should not drink if you were pregnant. And that's it. This is the legislation for alcohol. Okay. Now, Chile is also the country in South America with the easiest score for ease of doing business. So it is well developed. It welcomes US products. It is, compared to other countries in South America, the easiest to do business with. Um, as of the best products, we are talking about a large variety of products. So as I've mentioned, US products are very well received in Chile. So we'll have opportunities into bakery, into meats, so beef, poultry, sorry for the misspelling in there, pork and all its products, beer and craft beer. In fact, Chile is the top one destination for US beer and has been for the last years. Now, slowing down a little bit due to some major brands starting being produced in Chile, but it's still a great market for beer and craft beer, as well as distilled spirits. Everything, condiments, sauces, seasonings, dairy products, and these could be cheese, ice creams, oils, flours, food preparations, nuts, such as almonds, for example. Everything's nuts, chocolate, confectionery, and indulgence in general, despite the labeling legislation, also goes well in Chile. And also dog and cat food. So if you are into the pet food market, this is also a good country to explore with good opportunities for dog and cat food in Chile. Okay. This for retail. If you're in the food service, it's about the same categories, everything bakery, all of meats in general, beef, pork, poultry, pulses in general, nuts, flours, everything dairy also goes really well in Chilean food service, including alcoholic beverages. So this is a market in which we'll find large um, chains. Most of the American chains are also present in Chile. So this is something that you should be looking for. And yet, speaking of food service in South America, Chile, it's a business hub with business conventions and events. And so all of the major hotel brands are also in Chile, especially in Santiago, and they also source imported products to their operations. Okay. Going into the itinerary for this trade mission. So the idea is to arrive there on Tuesday, November 19th. Of course, you can arrive on Wednesday, get a red-eye flight, get there in the morning. There are flights arriving 6 a.m., but we suggest having some time arriving before to have a good start and for the trade mission, be rested, rest well to be able to start the activities. The first day of activity will be on a Wednesday, November 20th. We'll start in the morning with a market briefing and afternoon retail or maybe a site tour, depend on what is the products from the group that will be registering in this mission. Okay, so it's an educational day, the first day, so that we can learn more about Chile and be more prepared for the meetings on the next day, which will be on the Thursday. And then we'll have a pretty intense day. One-on-one meetings in the morning, a tabletop reception over lunch, and then one-on-one meetings in the afternoon, okay? And the option to have a late night departure to the US. There are flights going out of Santiago at 11 p.m. around midnight, or you can depart next day. There will be flights also in the morning going all the way back to the USA. Okay, so this is the general itinerary for Chile. If you haven't been to a food exports trade mission yet, so you should know that we will have one-on-one meetings with buyers in Chile, in Santiago and metropolitan regions. Sometimes there are a few companies in the neighbor department of Valparaiso that they also come to Santiago. It's only 40-minute drive. We will have a pre-event report based on one of your products. We'll have the market briefing and the retail tour, as I've mentioned in the itinerary. The trade reception over lunch, which I've also mentioned. We'll do also a supplier's guide, a brochure to promote your company in there with all of the buyers. You will have the assistance from us, our team here in South America, and also from Susan Weller, which has already worked with us as activity coordinator in South America, and it's always of great help in this process. And we will be, of course, helping you identifying the leads for the meetings and translate up to 2 pages of marketing material so that you can have something already in Spanish for the local buyers. You should be looking to have meetings with distributors, retailers, food service chains, and food processors. So this will depend on your product. In Chile, it's common to do business when you first get into the country. It's common to do business with the distributors instead of directly with the retailers, and they can take care of the brand. There are a series of distributors in Chile that are used to importing from the USA. Okay, if you are a supplier of ingredients for food processing or food manufacturers, there will be opportunities for you. If you're interested in participating in this mission as an ingredient supplier, please check with us before registering if your product is a good fit. But there are also opportunities for ingredients suppliers, okay? And definitely, as I've mentioned before, opportunities for pet food. This is a good market for pet food. I would like to continue and show you some pictures of the last trade mission we've done in Chile. You'll see still the masks. That was the second semester of 2022. We were in that phase of flexibilization. Some countries were still requiring masks, others not, but most of us used it in the event. So you see that it's a busy event in the one-on-one meetings, a lot of participation and very good prospects for US suppliers, including with success stories after that event, okay? And yeah, so thank you very much. I think this already provides you an overview about Chile. Of course, I'm available to any questions you may have, but before we open to the Q&A, I'm passing the word back to Grant to talk about the registration. Grant?
All right. Thank you, Leonardo. That's awesome information and definitely, great, great stuff. All right. So, registration. Um, the early deadline for the early bird registration is July 17th, and the price will be $425. Definitely benefits to get in at that early registration, not only because you save some coin there, but also gives Leonardo more time to kind of tailor the meetings and everything to um, you know really get the most out of everything. But if you don't get in by um, that 17th, the standard registration deadline is the 28th of August, and that price is $625. Um, Here is the contact page for the liaisons that I promised at the start. You'll notice that the liaisons kind of divide up the territory based by like states. So depending on what state you're in, you'll either be dealing with myself if you're a New Englander, or one of my colleagues, depending where you're headquartered. All right, on to the question and answers. Um, Question we have so far: do I need a visa to go to Chile?
No, if you hold an US passport, you don't need a visa to go to Chile. Just get your passport and go there, not for tourism or business. It's open to Americans. If you do not have the US passport by any chance, consult us and we can assist you in checking if you need or not a visa.
Okay. Next question. Do I have to translate my packaging into Spanish?
Yes, you do. But then stickering is allowed, and we advise you to use stickering. So, as I've mentioned, Chileans will be even willing to pay more if it's an imported product. So, it's actually good that you have your front panel in English. And as the stickering is allowed, so you will have to translate the nutritional facts, the ingredients list, manufacturers, and expiry date. So some products may have other requirements for translation, such as instructions to use, for example. It depends on the product, really. But the importers in Chile, they are well versed. They know how they will ask you for that information in the process of negotiations. But please be advised, you don't have to change your label. And it's usually a sticker that comes on the back panel of your product, and you just sticker with the information in Spanish.
Awesome. All right. Another question we have here is within Santiago, where will the trade mission be taking place? Um, like
Okay,
which
so
places?
yeah, yeah, we are still in the registration process. Of course, it depends on the number of participants, so that we will use the adequate structure in terms of hotels. Typically, we do inside a hotel. And as you, I'm not sure if you've seen in the pictures when we were talking about Santiago, there is this large building that you see. It's called Costanera Center, that you see in most of the pictures in Santiago. We typically stay in that area, but once we get closer to the mission, more into the second semester, we will have the kickoff calls with all of the companies that registered for this event, and we will be giving you details about where we will be. But definitely that will be in Santiago, most likely near that building. And we typically do those missions in a hotel.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Another question we have. Um, the, they have frozen product, and they're wondering if there are opportunities to import or export frozen product to Chile.
Definitely. So in South America, most likely Chile is the best, has the best infrastructure for cold chain. So either chilled or frozen. Chile has very good logistics. In fact, even ice cream is imported from the USA in Chile, and uh, meats and so cheese. So there is already a number of items, frozen or chilled, that get from the US to Chile.
Awesome. All right, just looking to see if there's any more questions. There it is. All right. Um, we have one last question. Um, are there any recommendations on sampling? And also, do you recommend trying to bring them or to ship them and send them?
Okay, so we definitely recommend shipping them. Again, when we do the kickoff call more into the second semester, we will suggest to a freight forwarder that can take the samples into Chile. If you are gonna bring them in your luggage, you have to declare. As I've mentioned in my first slide about the geography of Chile, so it's kind of an island in South America because of the Andes, ocean, desert to the north, and ice to the south. Um, so pests cannot get into Chile naturally. So Chilean authorities, they are pretty strict and they have high fines if anybody tries to get with food products that are not allowed. Typically, they are very easygoing if you declare. We can definitely discuss that during the kickoff calls further on in the year for this mission, but we will be recommending you a freight forwarder to ship samples and be instructing about what you could or could not take into your carry-on or checked luggage with you.
Awesome. All right. Well, if I don't think anyone else has any more questions, so with that, I want to give a big thank you to Leonardo and look forward to a very successful mission to Chile and seeing everybody down there soon.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you, Grant.
Yep. Bye, everybody.